Hi, welcome back to another video. So as you would have seen from the title and the thumbnail, this video is a video where I'll read all my anticipated releases. Actually not all, just 3 for this video. I kind of have a tentative TBR for this and I actually have already started reading one of the books. So I am going to let you know my TBR first, then the book that I'm currently reading. So for this TBR, I think all 3 books are mentioned in my 23 anticipated releases for 2023 video if you want to check it out up above. Yeah, so basically I will be reading Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers by Jessie Q Sutanto, who wrote Dao A for Aunties, which is one of my favorites of 2022. But she also wrote For Aunties in a Wedding, which was one of my disappointments for 2022. So we shall see, but I'm really very excited for that one. And I'm also going to be reading X's and O's, which is by Amy Leah, who also wrote Set on You. I liked the concept of that one, but not so much the execution. So I'm hoping this one will be better. Thanks so much to Times Reads for sending me a complimentary copy to review. The last book that I'll be reading is still not super confirmed yet, but I want to read Flower Heart by Catherine Bigwell. Like, look at the cover. It's so pretty and it's supposedly very cozy and very cute and very witchy. Maybe I'll read that a bit closer to like fall season, depending on how fast I finish the books. But okay, so that is my TBR for this video. As for the book that I'm currently reading, I am actually 27% in to Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. So I'm reading the ebook and listening to the audiobook at the same time. And I really recommend the ebook. It really reminds me of the feeling I got when I read Dao A for Aunties. Vera Wong is like the typical Asian auntie that was kind of featured in Dao A for Aunties, but not so much like a carbon copy. It's more of like the typical Asian auntie characteristics that just make her shine in this book. I mean, she's the main character. So Vera Wong is a 60-year-old self-proclaimed tea expert who enjoys nothing more than sipping a good cup of oolong and doing some healthy detective work on the internet, also known as checking up on her son to see if he's dating anybody yet. She owns Vera Wong's world-famous tea house and she has a daily routine that she's very used to doing. So she wakes up at like 4-ish in the morning, gets ready, and then she comes down, gets ready for the day. And basically, she expects that of others as well. So she will send messages to her son like, "Good morning, it is 4:30 a.m. in the morning. Are you awake yet? Please don't be lazy like other young people," so on and so forth. Oh my god. She wakes up one morning to find a dead man in the middle of her tea shop, and she knows that she can do a better job than the police, so she starts an investigation of her own, and things just progress from there. So it's like really funny, really, oh my god, really the same magic that I felt when reading Dao A for Aunties. And she calls things like the Google and the Facebook the BuzzFeed. It's just like so funny. Oh my god. Where I'm at in the book, she's currently gathering her suspects together. That's what we're doing. But it's also quite interesting because you don't know as the reader who did it. So you're like trying to guess along out of the 4 suspects that she has, who is the murderer. But I have an inkling, I have a suspicion, I have a hunch, and we shall see whether I get proven right. But yeah, so that's my progress so far. Really very interesting. I think this is a standalone, but it really reminds me of those cozy mysteries, whodunit, those kind of novels, but better because of like how funny Vera Wong is as the Asian auntie with all those like Asian auntie traits. Oh my god, that's all I keep saying. Oh my god. Yeah, I'll update you along the way as I progress further along the books and my thoughts on them. Hopefully, all 3 books get high ratings from me because they are my anticipated releases. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. Hi! So I finished Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers just recently, which is why I'm coming on to update. Trigger warnings first. Trigger warnings for domestic abuse, gaslighting, manipulation, toxic relationship, bullying, emotional abuse, and death. I would like to update that my initial guess turned out to be correct. So I guess that makes it kind of predictable, but I would say that my enjoyment of the book made me not mind that I could figure out who it was from like really early on in the story. Jessie Q Sutanto's humor portrayed through Vera is really like on point. It just really reminded me of Dao A for Aunties, just that Vera is a grandma, like she's older. Anytime a story has to do with older characters, like for example Vera, individuals that are like kind of gruff but sweet, I don't know, it's just really cute. I would expect A Man Called Uwe to also be something like that, as long as it has like an older main character. I tend to have like a soft spot for the character, and I don't know, know, it's like so cute. The love that Vera has for all these characters that are her suspects, and then how they eventually become a whole family for her. It's kind of like found family. So cute, oh my gosh. Along the way, you slowly come to realize why these characters are involved with Marshall, and it's kind of like, oh wow, this man is so terrible, and it makes you want to root for all the other characters in the story that are not Marshall. In the end, I decided to give it 4.5 stars. Deducted slightly a bit because of how predictable it was, as I mentioned, but it's still really enjoyable, and it just didn't really hit the 5-star feeling for me towards the end. I really didn't want to stop reading the story. I kept wanting to pick it up. I kept wanting to come back into this world, and oh my gosh, audiobook is so good. So it's also like similar to Dao for Aunties in that it's one of those rare audiobooks that you can just listen to the audiobook without having to refer to a book, and you'll still be fine in terms of like following along with the story, and the accent for each character is so good as well. But it's just like an elevated experience if you choose to read the ebook and listen along with the audiobook at the same time. So yeah, I was starting off this video with a very high bar for the following 2 books that are to come. Hopefully the next 2 books will deliver as well, and I'll update you when I eventually start reading them. Really good start, and yeah, I think it might end up on one of my favorites of 2023. We shall see. Hi, so I'm finally updating this video, and I would have to say that I am kind of falling into a reading slump recently. Like, not yet, but I feel like I will fall into a reading slump soon if I don't read like books that actually make me want to continue reading and know what the joy of reading is like, you know, because the books that I've been reading so far haven't been super great. So I decided I need to start reading a book that will actually get me interested, you know. So I decided to read my next anticipated release that happened to come in. The audiobook came in recently, so I decided to pick it up, and that is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. So she previously wrote Mr. Wrong Number, which I was getting like very good vibes from, and then I think towards the end something rubbed me the wrong way, or I kind of had issues with it. I said that I found it difficult to like the female main character because I think she was meant to be quirky, but it kind of gave me the impression that she was annoying, and then that kind of ruined the story for me. But in comparison, so let me talk about The Love Wager so far. I was really hoping that this would be better because I felt like Mr. Wrong Number had a lot of potential, if not for the fact that I didn't like the female main character. So in The Love Wager, we follow Hallie, Piper, and Jack. So how the story starts, right, is that Hallie was working as a bartender for this wedding, and then she happens to encounter this guy. I think he was asking her for a drink or something like that, and then she recognized him because she works another part-time job at a jewelry shop, and she was helping him to choose his ring that he was going to use to propose to his girlfriend. But then the girlfriend came and witnessed 2 of them acting all charming with each other, and she got super jealous. It kind of ended with the girlfriend throwing a glass of wine in Hallie's face, and that kind of like exploded. So from the encounter, Jack realized that, oh, I cannot marry this woman, and she gets so jealous so easily. So he called off the proposal essentially, and then he kind of forms this tentative friendship, I would say. Then they actually have a one-night stand together. The next morning, Hallie wakes up and she just decides to leave without saying anything. That was the point where she realized that she wasn't really acting like how a normal grown-up was supposed to act like she didn't have a stable job. She shares this place with a roommate, and like she has no direction that she's aiming towards. So that was when she realized that I need to get my shit together. Oh, and also she was recovering from a breakup with her ex-boyfriend, and so she wants to find love again. So she downloaded this app, and on the dating app she encounters Jack again, and that's when they start messaging each other on the app, and then they kind of have a bet to see whoever finds true love first will win the bet, and they will get the prize that the other has offered. That sets off this whole string of competition essentially against each other, but they're also kind of like doing it together. So for example, Jack will invite Hallie to go for this speed dating event together, and then after that, if it doesn't work out for both of them, then they'll like spend time with each other after that as a way to like unwind from that stressful event. So that's where I'm currently at in the story, and I would say that it's a very easy read. I've been kind of wanting to continue reading it and pick it up and just see where things go. And the book is quite short as well. The audiobook is only 7 hours. I'm 30% in so far. Really hoping that it ends with a good rating, 4 stars and above, because I really need something good after all the books I've been reading recently. I'll update you again. I just wanted to pop in to say that I have been reading another book for this video and I have been enjoying it so far, so all the best to me. I'll update again once I finish, or if I have more thoughts to say before I finish. Hi! It has been a week about a week since I updated this, and I finished The Love Wager actually on a trip. So I went to KL for a week and I finished that book on that trip. I didn't really notice any trigger warnings when I was reading this book, but just in case, let me try and give you the story graph ones. Graphic sexual content, alcohol, cursing, minor death, emotional abuse, homophobia. That's what's listed on Storygraph. In the end, I decided to give it 4 stars because the same positive feeling was there throughout. I'm so sorry, it keeps changing. As I was saying, the positive feeling was there throughout the book, and it just really felt like a very warm, fuzzy book because both of the characters kind of like each other, but they are too scared to let the other know because they think that they're in love with somebody else, and it's just, that trope's very cute to read about. It really felt like, you know, those fan fiction that you would read about, and it's just so fluffy, so angsty, and you just want to binge everything. That's the feeling I got from this book. Not to say that fan fiction is bad, it just gave me that feeling of like this bingeable, very cute kind of read, and it felt very, very short because it was so good. Yeah, so in the end I gave it 4 stars. I just realised that I didn't talk about this, but Lynn Painter also wrote Better Than the Movies, which I also read this year and gave 5 stars for. So I guess Lynn Painter is an author that I will continue reading from because 2 out of 3 I really liked her books that I've read. It just felt right to give it 4 stars. It came out as 4 stars based on the corpus that I put it through also, which is a rating system developed by G from Book Rose. So yeah, it feels like it's a trope or a concept that's been kind of done before, so it's not super original or unique, but I still really enjoyed it, which is why I ended up with 4 stars also. That is all I'm going to say for this super cute read. Pick it up if you need like a short read or just a very cute read. I also mentioned that I was kind of falling into a reading slump, but this book kind of made me want to continue reading, so I think I'm slowly getting out of that reading slump feeling. The last book that I'll be reading for this video, I'll update when I eventually start reading it, so yes, stay tuned. Hi! So time for the last book of this video. So I have started reading X's and O's by Amy Leah. Thank you so much to Times Reads for sending me this review copy. I am actually at 130 pages in out of 362. Firstly, oh my god, just look at this cover. It's so pretty oh my goodness. In this book, we follow Tara Chen and Trevor Metcalfe. So these 2 characters over here. Tara is a romance novel obsessive person. She's also like a book talker and a bookstagrammer, if I'm not wrong. Basically, she is doing bookish content. Look at me. She has had her heart broken 10 times by 10 different men, so she has had 10 exes. The latest one was her ex-fiance, so he actually broke off the engagement. Trevor Metcalfe is a firefighter who will be the first to rush into a burning building but the last to rush into a relationship, so he has a lot of like casual hookups with girls, females basically. And the 2 actually become roommates because I think her brother named Scott moved out, and so she needs a new place to stay after breaking off the engagement, right? So she kind of moves in and they become roommates, and then it's just quite cute because they have this dynamic going on, but at the same time Tara gets inspired to go on this second chance romance search with her exes basically, because she believes that second time's the charm, the guy probably matured, perhaps they're now in like a headspace to get back together, that kind of thing, and the relationship will be better. Trevor is just looking from the sidelines and trying to advise her on what she should and shouldn't be doing, because apparently he's like a romance expert in that he knows the guy's perspective, so like he knows what she should or shouldn't do to like not come off as too clingy or too like crazy or whatever. I'm really enjoying this so far actually. It's very cute, and I feel like it's kind of slow burn because you have to watch her get on with her exes and interact with them while still interacting with Trevor as like a friend, roommate kind of thing. It might be a bit spoilery, so I put like a spoiler warning. I feel like Trevor kind of likes her, or at least he feels like protective over her. I don't know whether it's in like a platonic or a romantic way yet, because I'm still like about 36% in, right? So there's still much more of the book to continue. I have tapped a little bit, but yeah, I'm so excited because I've just been reading a lot of romance books lately, and they're just giving me a lot of serotonin and happiness, and just yes, enjoying my time. So I will update again. I just keep wanting to continue reading this book, and I'm listening to the audiobook as well. Yes, I forgot to add that. And the audiobook is quite good also, so I like to read this book and listen to the audiobook at the same time. I'll update you again once I finish this book with hopefully positive thoughts and feelings and a good review, because I'm very excited for this. Hopefully it's a good read. So far it is. Hi, so I didn't really update at all. I think the only clip before this was me updating that I'm enjoying it. I was only like 36% in, and since then I have finished X's and O's. Look at the number of my tabs. Oh my goodness. I actually annotated in this book because I couldn't take it anymore. Like, where did this Trevor guy come from? Oh my god, all the romance books that I've been reading so far are so good. I'm just like, oh my god. And they're just like outperforming one another, and I'm just like, oh my goodness. I didn't know that there would be another fictional man as good as this other fictional guy. But there is. Oh my god. Let me just show you pictures of the annotations that I took. There's going to be for my Instagram review post. This guy, he remembers everything that Tara, not Tara as I mispronounced and was called out by the book itself. He always mispronounced my name, calling me Tara instead of Tara. Yes, I was also one of those people. So it is Tara. He remembers everything that she said and likes, and he's just been secretly pining for her all this time. I can't talk about the book without giving spoilers, so it's just spoilers, okay? Look at all the number of pink tabs. They are just, every time they are so cute, especially Trevor. Oh my god. And the epilogue, okay, normally I find epilogues very cheesy. There is no bonus to it. It's just like, oh, okay lor. But this epilogue, oh my god, I got goosebumps because it's so romantic. Like, this guy with all his romantic grand gestures, and also because Tara is a book influencer in TikTok and Bookstagram. I just kind of related to that part also. And then the fact that he embraces everything about Tara, including her bookish obsession. Oh my god, wait, in the epilogue, right, I don't know where he got the shelf from, but he has this whole like big white shelf that spans across the wall with all her books arranged by color, even though he hates it when books are not arranged by the alphabet. And then he proposes to her in that room with like a lot of decorations and everything, and just this man, oh my god, like what a way to have a bookish proposal. Oh my god. I am very much fangirling over this because I don't really like second chance romance. So initially when she was trying to get together with her dates, I was like, I don't think this is gonna end well. I'm not gonna enjoy it because I just don't enjoy the trope. But it was geared naturally in the way that she and Trevor were meant to be together, and it's just like a very ultimate slow burn, and I enjoyed it so much. The next steamy and hilarious rom-com is so true because this book is also so steamy. Oh my goodness, like R21. But it's really more about this guy, this Trevor, this firefighter guy. Okay, and then the third act conflict, right? I didn't really see it coming, but I also thought that it was quite minor. They didn't spend a lot of time in this misunderstanding, being upset with each other for very long. They kind of like got back together and communicated about it, and then they talked about how they would go for therapy if they needed to resolve any conflicts from then on, and it's so healthy. The audiobook also definitely added to my reading experience. They're just very cute together, and Trevor, like, oh my goodness. I actually had to put this book down a few times because I didn't want it to end. I wanted to slowly savor it. There are certain types of books where you either want to binge everything or you want to take your time with it and slowly savor it because you don't want it to end, and this was definitely in the latter. And now that I have finally finished it, oh my god, I feel like I'm in a book hangover now because it was so good. I'm looking at all the books I have to read, right? I don't know which one I want to pick up next, and it's just, oh my god, this book. So if you couldn't already tell, this book was a 5 stars. This is a very successful reading vlog. If all my anticipated releases go along this route, right, oh my goodness, I'm gonna have such a great reading year. But this will go on my bookshelf hall of fame next to The Love Hypothesis, which was also the other romance book that I've given 5 stars. I think I've given more romance books 5 stars since then, but I have yet to acquire physical copies of them. So this is the second one that I have physically. So yeah, that brings me to the end of this reading vlog. Very excited honestly because this video was so successful. I found 2 to 3 new favorites, and I'm just very excited to continue reading more anticipated releases. I've already started the next video of this theme reading anticipated releases reading vlog. I would say that it's looking good also. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Consider subscribing to my channel for more of such content. I hope you're having a great day and a great week whenever or wherever you're watching. Remember to stay hydrated. Yeah, I'll see you in my next video.